Welcome back to the Valicites podcast, the show where finance, wellness, and innovation converge to shape the future of business. I'm your host, Albert Ramos. Today's episode is special because we're bringing on two powerhouse voices in the wellness and fitness industry, both whom are shaping the way brands, coaches, and leaders think about growth and storytelling. First up, you've seen her everywhere on LinkedIn. She's the master connector, Kathleen Ferguson, the driving force behind Coach360, a dynamic media platform and staffing solution, revolutionizing how coaches and employers connect, develop, and thrive. Kathleen and her team are behind, and it just rolled out. So exciting. Such an amazing list of speakers around the Ignite series, as well as the Coach360's marketplace and the new wave of content and conversations redefining the future of coaching. Alongside Kathleen, we're joined by Elisa Edelstein, editor-in-chief of Coach360 and a seasoned writer who has crafted stories and press releases for some of the biggest names. You've probably read about them. I hope you're on the newsletter. It's all about wellness, fitness, and health lifestyle brands. Elisa's known for making complex topics relatable and bringing authentic voices to the forefront of health and wellness conversations. I'm also excited at the time of this recording. They're both prepping. We're all prepping for Beyond Activ in Dallas, one of the industry's most anticipated events. And today we're diving into what they're excited about, what they're building, and how wellness leaders can future-proof their business models. Kathleen, Elisa, welcome to the Valicites podcast. So good to have you both.
Thank you so much.
I don't know if I can live up to this introduction.
You're so funny. Get out of here. You're so
goodness. Funny. I am honored. Thank you. Thank you for that wonderful introduction. Thanks for having us.
Oh my goodness, my pleasure. Good to have you both. And shoot, I didn't even mention it in the bio. You are a USC Trojan. I know I always bring this up every time I talk to you. So
I got my mug. See?
I love it. There we go. And I'm excited about this year. Hopefully we get some more wins. So that's going to be a lot of fun to watch football. Well, Kathleen, we'll start with you, right? Coach360 is just on this mission. You're growing quickly. It's a major force in the industry. Anyone I chat with, they all know about Coach360 and obviously you, Kathleen. What's been the catalyst behind its rise and its growth and popularity?
Yeah, I mean, I would say the catalyst is, really the community. The community has been supportive from the get-go. Coach360 came into the industry in 2024. May 1st is when we launched our first newsletter. We launched to about 10,000 health and fitness professionals because, all of us who, were kind of founding, members, founding partners of Coach360, we have roots in fitness. So we launched to 10,000 members and, now we're at about 40,000 health and fitness professionals and coaches and about 1,700 clubs and studios nationwide. And I truly think that, the reason why people kind of latched onto it so quickly is that the industry was ready for it. Right now, there really isn't, a dedicated platform that serves the needs of health and fitness professionals and helps them, with their career growth and actually helps them into a career pathway. And, really builds out the strong sense of community while also providing the educational resources that they need to thrive and grow a career in today's day and age. Because when I was a coach 17 years ago, it was very, very different than what it looks like now, right? Like now, it's not just, hey, get, your fitness training certification. It's all right, get your fitness training certification. But we know that that's only a piece of the puzzle, right? There's so many different facets of health and fitness that, Gen Z coming into this industry need to be educated on as a fitness professional. So we are here. Coach360's, our mission is to empower health and fitness professionals to thrive in their careers. We want to solve the problem of industry churn, which currently sits at 80% within 2 years' time. We're losing fitness professionals. No, it's unacceptable. Exactly. Left and right. And these are the people who are at the front lines of obesity and preventable chronic disease. So got to keep these guys in the industry. And honestly, it directly affects, what's going on in clubs and studios, which is rampant turnover, which is at about 100% annually. So, I know we'll talk about all this, but I do think, that is why, to your point, that's the catalyst behind what's, really been, helping us to grow and get to where we are today.
I love it. I love the twofold, right? Number one, you are a pioneer and trailblazer, and I really appreciate the mentorship that you're providing. Career pathing is what you said, and I love that. I think more people in our industry need to hear that. You can build a career in fitness, you can build a career in wellness and longevity and lifestyle. It's there, right? And so I love that you're doing that. And then the second piece, as business owners, right? In this industry, we have to change our mindset. 80% plus turnover is unacceptable. We have to change that. And the only way we continue to thrive and grow, especially with this wave of technology, really speeding things up and really bringing things to light, exposing the good and the bad very, very transparently. We have to keep our people. We have to recruit and hire the best people, and we need to keep them, retain them. That's so exciting. My next question for both of you, and Kathleen, we'll start with you. What is most surprising so far that you've seen emerge in the health, fitness, and wellness content over just this last year? What are some of the trends that you're seeing, or some new things that have popped up this year that you were just surprised by?
Gosh, there's so many. But I think precision wellness and precision medicine is a big one.
Yeah.
I think it's no longer enough, and I touched on this a little bit, but it's no longer enough to just address people, from the physical aspect.
Mm.
Today's client and member in clubs and studios wants to be addressed at the holistic level, mind, body, and spirit. And they not only want that, they want it done under one roof, and they also want it customized to their personal data. So whether, that's their sleep score or, whatever, data they're getting from their aura, they want to make sure that,
Mm.
their program is customized to that. And, if they need supplementation or if they need, maybe additional peptides or anything of that nature, that's become a really big trend as well. We're seeing it more and more, these longevity style clinics popping up into, these mainstream clubs and studios. My good friend Bob Thomas, Next Gen MD, who I know you're
Yeah.
connected to as well. I mean, everybody knows Bob. He is like,
I'm loving the terzepatide, Bob. I'm loving it.
well, and that's another trend we'll touch on. But
Yeah.
he is, I always call him the Godfather. He goes to these parties and everybody lines up to talk to Bob. He's like he's such an OG. He's like over there in like his black cap and black
I love
shades,
it.
like
Yeah.
a nighttime event. He's just so cool. But it's more now than just the weight loss drugs. When we think about
Mm.
peptides, it's all of these other things, right? So it's like, I have low energy. Maybe I need NAD, to help me focus. Maybe I'm perimenopause and I need some certain things to kind of balance me out. So these
Yeah.
are big trends that we're seeing right now in mainstream gyms. And honestly, it's, if these clubs and studios don't have, an up leveling, a member tier that's next level up, they're really missing out on, additional streams of revenue because, many, members of clubs and studios or, members or clients of personal trainers and health professionals, they're going to pay the extra, $5 to, $50 a month or whatever it is to be able to utilize, these wellness and recovery services, and
Yeah.
have, more personalized approach to their programming. So that's a major trend that we're seeing. The other one that I'll touch on, and I mean, I feel like sometimes, it's a little cliche because everyone touches on this, but I'm seeing it evolve more and more and more, is women's health. And it's not just women's health, talking about periods and cycle syncing. It's
Mhm.
women's health when we come to, even the mental aspects of
Yeah.
women's health and how we are learning to advocate for ourselves for the first time in a very long time. There's more data surrounding women's health. Before, all of these studies are, all around men, and how
Mm.
can we possibly have the data needed to, really serve more than 50% of our clientele if we're only doing studies that are based on men. So,
Right.
that's something that I'm seeing, and, really this rise in advocacy surrounding women's health, mind, body, and spirit, and how we are merging into the workforce, is a big trend. And I do feel like that falls under, health and fitness. So,
Yeah.
those are probably two that, I'm seeing. I mean, there's so many more. I know Lisa can give you a few as well.
Yeah, Kathleen, you have such a good point. That gone are the days where you need to go and sneak into a Facebook group to talk about women's health, right? I love what you're saying. It's now at the forefront, transparent. The data's there, and it's amazing just how empowered women are to speak about and also do something about. And there's so many things when we say health. right? Women's health. So I love that stuff. It's so cool to see how the industry is transforming. So that's great. Speaking of Coach360, Kathleen, if you don't mind, you mentioned Coach360 and how it positions coaching as the heartbeat of wellness. How are you, and you kind of touched on this earlier, but would love to kind of deep dive a little bit more. How is Coach360 making it easier for gyms and studios and brands to find and retain great coaches?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question. And, honestly, that was really part of the big mission of launching Coach 360 is
Mm-hmm.
how do we solve this, decades plus problem that's been going on in the industry? Because there have been, other companies that have tried, coaching job boards,
Yeah.
but they were missing a key element. And that key element is the storytelling piece. And that's what truly differentiates us from others in the market that are posting jobs is that the coach or the fitness professional takes a job because of the pay or the convenience of the location, but they stay for the company culture, and that starts at the top. That starts in leadership.
Right.
And if a coach just takes a job off of a job board because of the convenience and the pay, it might not be aligned with what they're looking for in a desired company culture. So what we do is we take it a step further. We have essentially built a media platform that is the firepower into our services. So while we nurture and build this community through content and resources and
Mm-hmm.
events, such as Career Lab by Coach 360 or Operators Table, which you'll be attending next week in Dallas, and Industry Impact Awards at HFA, we are leveraging that media platform to essentially drive into our services. So we tell the story. So instead of, hey, here's a job posting from Orange Theory Fitness. We're looking for, a group instructor. We're looking for a lead coach. Instead of that, it's more like, hey, coach, here are the top 3 reasons that you should think about working for Orange Theory Fitness Afterburn Holdings. They invest in your growth and development. You're going to become a rock star coach. And they have an incredible company culture where they, will
Mm.
take you on outings for lunch and learns and invest
Wow.
in you as a professional. And oh, by the way, coach, here's where they're hiring. And the story then leads them into the path to find a job within that organization based on, basic filters such as zip codes and whatnot. And
Mm-hmm.
I will tell you that it sounds simple, but it's not been done. So strangely, it actually hasn't been done. And I feel that this is a much more effective way to, make sure that we can retain the, the talent that we're hiring. So, that starts even before their first day of work. It's like, what does your onboarding, actually look like? Because that should start before their first day of work. And, we're really helping these clubs and studios find the right talent and helping these coaches find the right opportunity. And where we're going is much different than where we are right now because, we are really looking to create a deeper profile within for the coach as well as, for the club and studio owner and operator. I think in a year from now, Marketplace by Coach 360, which is the platform, is going to look quite different because we will be implementing some AI algorithms to help to
Yeah.
create that deeper profile and really essentially build out a hireability score so that I, as a operator, I know that you, Albert, are potentially an 8 out of 10 in hireability for my facility. But maybe Elisa is a 6 out of 10. Sorry, Elisa. Um, maybe she's a 6 out of 10. So that tells me, and it tells her that, maybe it's not as good of a fit, but me as the operator, it tells me that you are essentially going to have a better chance of being retained as talent within my facility. So,
Yeah.
these are the types of things that we're working on actively right now at Coach 360 that really make us different. That was a really long answer to your question,
No, it's
but
good. And Kathleen, as I'm thinking about it as an operator, I mean, I need to be in that marketplace, meaning I want to find the best talent. And it sounds like you're using technology and AI to now force rank, right? My culture fit of who I'm looking for, not just the job description, but the cultural aspects too, which I know you're so passionate about. How, for someone listening to this episode, if they're an operator, I'm like, what the heck? How are we not on this? How can they get a hold of you all and make sure that they're on this marketplace and representing their brand?
yeah, I mean, right now we're small, we're nimble. There's nothing fancy. They can reach out to me. They can reach out to Al. Al has really been, my co-founder has been really spearheading the marketplace component. He's the one that's working late hours, with our contractor and contractors in India. So Al has been burning the candle and,
Oh, I'm
really
sure.
getting
It's a
us
nice
set up
time zone
for
shift.
success. It is with marketplace. So
Yeah.
we are very accessible when it comes to that. I mean, in fact, I have a call with, two operators tomorrow that just reached out on LinkedIn. So LinkedIn, I'm all over LinkedIn. I can also be emailed, Kathleen at coach360news.com. It's found on the website. I mean, we are, open for conversations whenever. One thing that's really important to me in building our own company culture, right, is accessibility. Like I want to
Yeah.
chat. I want to meet with community members, coaches, facility owners, and operators. I want to get to know them. So, I always welcome conversations to learn how I can support their business.
I love that. Kathleen, I mean, the wellness space, the fitness space, the longevity space, and it's getting a lot noisier, right? There's a lot of saturation. It's hot right now. There's some amazing trends, but it can become a little bit overwhelming. You're not only a master connector, but what I've learned about you, Kathleen, is you are a master at building a brand. And you have this eye for detail. What do you see out there right now as we see more brands coming out, right? It's again, very saturated, very noisy, but exciting. What do you think some of the brands may be missing on their messaging, their brand messaging right now?
I think they're missing the inspiration piece.
Hmm.
I think that brands in the health and wellness space need to inspire service. And when I say inspire service, I mean, how do we inspire, these professionals within the industry to serve their communities to be healthier and more fit? So I think, that message and that lack of mission and purpose behind the brand's core values is part of the problem. I
Hmm.
also think, to your point, it is a noisy and cluttered space right now. There are constant, new brands coming out every single day. There are all sorts of different shows that people can attend, all sorts of different panels that you can watch and that you can listen to. But sometimes what's lacking is, the mission and the inspiration piece.
Yeah.
So often, I'm seeing so much of this content become pay to play, whether it's, in a newsletter and, clearly says partnership or sponsored, or, if it's, paying to get a seat on the panel, or even heck, paying to get an award on a list. Like, I think that
We're
that's where
on
we're
to you.
getting,
We're on to
well,
y'all. No,
I'm
I'm
just
just
saying,
kidding.
I think that's where we're getting lost.
Yeah.
As an industry, we need to do better at creating connection points between brands and the targets that they're looking to reach. And for me, it always comes back to connection and looking at the big picture and creating relationships, either from a brand perspective or, from a
Mm.
Coach 360 perspective, creating relationships that are not just transactional, but are long term. I mean, I look at some of the relationships that I've built in this industry, and some people I've worked with for over 10 years.
Wow.
Todd Durkin, David Van Daff, and so many others. Colleen Morris. I mean, there's so many individuals who are incredible, mission driven people who have built
Mm.
brands that have longevity. And that's really, I think, the crux of it is like, how do you build a brand, that inspires service? And that's what I come back to constantly. So hopefully that answers your question. But
Yeah, totally.
I think when it comes to brand building, you lead with purpose and you have that be your North Star in all of the decisions that you make.
Yeah, mission and inspiration. You're right. I'm seeing a lot of transactional, right? And it's the easier thing to do, especially when we're moving so fast and everyone's looking to be that first mover, that differentiator. But what really differentiates you, not only from a member point of view, right, the customer, but the team member side, which I know Coach 360 is all about, right? You're fueling our team member base. They want mission, they want purpose, they want inspiration. Clean pivoting, you mentioned earlier around AI and tech, and I also, Elisa, you write about it in your newsletter editions each week. You're both very vocal about the power of tech and how it can enhance and not replace. I think Kathleen, you were on a recent chat about this. Maybe it was with Michael Parrish, or I think some other talk you were doing, or maybe it was one of the guests that were on Ignite. But I heard this a lot, and I know you press on this, is it's enhancing us, not replacing us, right? You're really big about the human element. How does
Sure.
how does Coach 360 embody that principle?
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously we are not necessarily like a product. We really are, educational, content driven, media driven, and we have a service. But when it comes to getting the information out, I feel that we do a great job of educating the health and fitness coach community, because I think that particular community, they they embrace technology. These newer coaches that are coming in, yet they're also afraid of it. To your
Mm,
point, many of them are, concerns like, how is this going to affect my job? How is this going to affect my pay? But the more that we can get the right information in front of them, which is, we are the conduit of that information for the coach community, that, this to use technology to scale your business. It's plain and simple. Use technology to scale your business. Use technology to, get rid of some of these mundane tasks
yeah.
that are sucking up your time and taking you away from the client to client or the person to person interaction, the human touch that's so important that cannot be replaced. So, we constantly try to educate people on how to do that. There's some great brands that we work with. Everfit's one of our preferred partners. They do an
Yeah.
incredible job of helping scale coach businesses. They leverage AI to help with programming. Gone are the days where coaches need to spend 6 hours working on a program. Why not have your program done in seconds for a particular coach using their personal data as opposed to, hours? That way you can, manage more clients, thus making more money, thus
Amazing.
increasing, your longevity in building a career in this industry. Then you
Yeah.
look at the other side of the house of who we serve, which are the, owners and operators. The owners and operators are starting to really understand how technology can be their friend within their facilities. We know now that they can have AI answer their phones. Why do they need to have someone at the front desk, pay someone at the front desk to answer phones? They need to be paying people to work with the clients and have that human to human interaction. That's the most
Hmm.
important thing. That is why you come back as a member of a club or a studio, is that positive interaction that you have with a real person there. So learning how to kind of, get rid of some of those mundane tasks. The owners and operators are great at it. And also, just, making sure that, they are supported with, their basic functionalities of scheduling, and, managing and, keeping clientele engaged and
Yeah.
providing what 67% of Gen Z clients say that they want, which is they want Omni Fitness. They want their
Mm,
fitness and they want to consume it when they want it, how they want it, and where they want it. And if you're not
right.
offering it as a club and studio, you don't have a digitized, offering. You're really missing out because, ultimately, your client is not going to come in as much. They're not going to use your facility, whether inside or outside the gym. They're not going to use it as much, and you're going to lose them to somebody that does cater to their needs and meet them where they're at in their fitness journey. So,
Yeah.
that's really what we're seeing. We are our role in it, to answer your question, again, like long-winded answer, our role in is we are the conduit of the information, and we are here to help people understand how to use it and not be afraid of it, and how to leverage
Yeah.
it to enhance and really become their companion in building their business.
Kathleen, you'll learn more about me. I love the lengthier. I want to know everything that you're thinking. So keep it coming. And I'm sure those that are listening love it too. Well, switching gears into Beyond Active. So at the time of this recording, it's just right around the corner, right? About a week or so out, or maybe less than that. When is this thing?
Yeah,
About a
but I
week
think it's,
out.
yeah,
So
starts in week. Yeah.
yeah. So Kathleen, do you mind sharing, what do you, as you look at, so those that are saying they're going to attend and those that are on the speaker lineup, anyone that you're really excited about, or any topics, maybe if it's not names, topics that you're really excited about listening to?
Yeah, I'm always excited to see my friend, and honestly, like one of the mentors that I have in this industry, Eddie Talk, CEO of Rex Roundtables.
Yeah.
He will be closing out, I believe it's day one. He'll be
Okay.
closing out with, operational and business guidance. So I'm really excited for that. He touches on community a lot. He is an OG of building communities.
Mm,
So I'm thrilled to, listen in on his session. My favorite thing, though, Albert, about these shows is honestly, it's going and just connecting with people I haven't seen
yeah.
in a while. industry colleagues who, I can call many of them friends, having a workout with them, catching up, learning more about, how their families are doing and, what their kids are up to. That's my favorite part is just, building the relationship, because if you're in the business of fitness, you're in the business of relationships. Truly, we are a people business. Our industry is much different, even on the B2B side, even, at shows like HFA and Beyond Activ. We're all huggers here in this industry. You go to other like industry conferences, like, technology, and, it's like, it's a handshake. It's not a hug. So it's a warm community of people who truly have, I feel like I've been on their journey. They've been on mine. So I'm so excited to just catch up with, all these familiar faces and hear what they've been working on and all of the new innovations that are going on in the industry that are driving our businesses forward. So that's what I'm excited about.
Yeah, me too. I do want to switch gears into more of a leadership, and if you all don't mind, just a personal perspective. Kathleen, one thing that I've learned about you as I continue to follow just everything that you're up to and posting about, and obviously all that you're building at Coach360, is you really highlight inclusion and breaking barriers. I mean, you even kicked it off earlier speaking about empowering women and women's health. And I really appreciate that about you. And just you're not only a go-getter, but you are fearless. What drives that commitment from you?
I'd like to say personal experience. I think my professional journey has, had its twists and turns, and I'm super grateful for every single thing and every single opportunity, simply because, it leads you to where you are, right? Some of these challenges or, pitfalls, as, one would call them, that's where, the purpose is born, right? It's not grown in comfort. It happens during those times that force you to really question yourself. So, I mean, I think, for me, having experienced, from the get-go in this industry, just misogynistic behavior, as a woman in the fitness industry, and multiple levels, even my first day of work at, IDEA Health and Fitness, at a conference, it's just, it's stuff like that has like really shaped, kind of where like my core values and my, mission, to really empower women shapes that. And it really, it makes it important to me. And I talk to people all the time who have similar stories of, being promised things in the industry, harassment, both from, being, sexual harassment, as well as, harassment around just being a woman in general and not having a seat at the table. So, the personal experience with all of those things is what, motivates me to bring that to the forefront. And I want to see more women in leadership. For me, it was like, I beat down the doors to get a seat at the table so long. And what I really needed to do the whole time was just build my own damn table. And I did that.
Love it.
And
that's awesome.
I'm making the decisions now because I'm shaping the values and the mission of this organization at Coach360. And, that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to make sure that the uncomfortable conversations in this industry happen. And I don't care who gets uncomfortable about it. I'm going to keep talking. And I'm going to keep encouraging others to build that seat at the table, build their own table, and, not shy away from these things, because it's gone on for far too long. So it's important to me from both, that mental health perspective, as well as women's health in general, and, where we stand in this industry. And yes, I'll get off my soapbox in a second,
no, but good.
Women,
please.
Women, have difficulty in, finance and health and fitness, as well as technology. And that needs to change. Like I look at all these panels that go on, and I see nearly zero women on any like technology related panels. I think, how do we present diverse perspectives if, we're only representing men and their voices? So, for me, that needs to change. And that's why when you look at Ignite by Coach360, which was our virtual summit, we had more women than men. And that was on, 2025 as well as 2024. And that's for a reason. And I hope that women out there who are looking and seeking out a leadership role in our industry see that and understand that they have a seat at the table with me and with Coach360. and I want to hear from them, and I want to help, help them, on their professional journeys as well.
Yeah, and you're doing it. I think Coach360 is a great example of that. And I do want to come back to building. That's so good, right? You built your own table, but I see that on the impact that Coach360 is making for everybody, right? And then you mentioned an educational platform used for that as well to career path. Walk me through just building your own table, your own company. I know there's going to be a lot of women in our industry listening to this, and they're looking to you for advice or for words of wisdom. It's not easy. I can only imagine. I'd love to hear it from you. I'd imagine building your own company from scratch, right, is difficult, right? Even when it's in its mature phase and you're wanting to get it to the next level. I can only imagine there's so many pros, but there's also a lot of points that are difficult, and maybe even and I know being an entrepreneur myself, sometimes you question, like, can I make this happen, right? Can I hack this? Can I make this vision come to life? Have you been there, and what's your advice for everyone out there, including women?
Yeah, I mean, I think, throughout our personal and our professional lives, there's multiple different shifts. I'm not a young buck. I decided at the age of, 42 that I was going to completely uproot my life, leave a job that paid me well, and,
Wow.
take a leap of faith to build something I really believed in and that I could hang my hat on. And I knew that it was going to be a challenge. At the time, my husband had lost his job. So it has been a struggle, and I talk about this a lot, Albert, but like there's never a good time to do it. So like that would be like advice piece number one is understand that there's never going to be ideal circumstances, and that comes to getting married, having kids, launching your own company, to any big life decision, right? Like you just need to do it.
Yeah.
Like I'm doing a bodybuilding competition right now.
I don't know how you do it. You're nuts.
Horrible timing from the outside
Yeah.
looking in. Horrible timing. Like I'm a CEO of a startup. I have 3 kids. It's just, but I'm doing it. You know why? Because there's never going
Good
to be a
for
good
you.
time. Why not now?
Yeah.
That's the first piece of advice. The second piece of advice is work on yourself. As women, we seek outside validation all the time. That is an ingrained, kind of thing that we have grown up with, at least, in our generation. I'm a child of the 80s and 90s. We are taught as young women, not to upset the apple cart. And, that needs to change. And that's why we
Yeah.
seek validation throughout our lives. So, my second piece of advice would be seek out a life coach, because you don't need validation. The validation that you need comes from within.
Yeah.
And once you realize that, you're going to be ready to take on the world, and you'll develop the same policy that I have, which is I don't work with assholes. I have a no asshole policy,
Good for you.
and
Yeah.
hopefully I'm allowed to
I
say
love
that. Can
that.
I say that? I've said it
Yeah, you
twice
could
now. So,
totally.
too late now. Whoops.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that would be like my second piece of advice is, know your value, understand it. And if you don't know it, work on yourself until you figure it out. And that's really it. And it's never too late, Albert, because a lot of us think, oh my God, I'm 40. I should just, be complacent with this life, I have a job that pays me well. And that's great if that's what you want to do. But if you have a desire to become an entrepreneur, do those things to really be able to take that leap, because you never want to look back on life and think, gosh, I should have done that. You
Right.
know, like you never want to think back like that. You don't want to have any regrets. And if you believe in what you're building, the way that I believe in what we're building, and, just the passion, the purpose that I have every single day when I wake up, I'm so grateful. I'm grateful that I get to do what I get to do every single day. I'm talking to people in this industry like you right here, right now, and working with people like Elisa and Al who truly fill my cup.
So
And
cool.
I am, I encourage others to find that, because when you have that, it doesn't as much feel like work. It feels, like this incredibly synergistic flow in your life.
Yeah.
That is just, I'm so happy, and I can't imagine doing anything else other than Coach
Yeah.
360. It's hard. It's I'm just saying it. Disclaimer, people. It's hard work. You know this, Albert. You
Yeah.
have built a company from the ground up as well. But it's a lot of fun. It's passion.
Totally. So many gems there. This is why I wanted you all on the show. Two warriors and completely challenging the status quo. So I love it. And for both of you, and I want to respect both of your time, but I had this I had a couple questions come on to LinkedIn, but this was one of my favorites for both of you. What's your vision? if it was up to both of you, what's your vision for the wellness industry, the fitness industry 5 years from now? What is it? What does it look like?
I guess I can start. So I would like to see more of an emphasis and support on the medical side for health and fitness professionals to be part of the prescription, right? That's what I would like to see. I think that too often, we look at, these conditions that arise from obesity and from, poor eating habits and just being overall unhealthy, and we just prescribe a pill for it
Mm,
instead of looking at what the root problem is. Like, stop slapping a band-aid on things. Yes, there's certain things that we require medication for, but we need to also look at what the bigger issue is and educate people starting young on, teach them how to eat. Like, I think we learned what, like the basic like food pyramid when we were kids, but like, what are you taking out of that?
right.
Actually teach the children how to eat, or teach people how to eat. That's a skill, right? Because 80% of it, your physique comes from like what you're putting in your body.
Yeah.
And you need to be active. You need to, I mean, we need to stop just looking at like how we can treat things from a medical perspective and look at the holistic approach and look at fitness professionals, health and fitness professionals as part of that overall solution and prescription to a healthier life.
Yeah. So good. I love that. Great value add. Well, this was so good. I can go on for a couple more hours. I know you all probably don't, and it's ready to eat, right? Get ready for next week as well. This has been so good. I appreciate the authenticity, just how raw you both are. Thank you for sharing how you're building what you're building. Everyone is excited about Coach 360 and what you all are doing. I love the career pathing. I love the mission driven, the purpose driven approach. That's such a great reminder for all of us in the industry. If those that are listening want to learn more about each one of you, Kathleen, Elisa, or about Coach 360, how can they do that?
Yeah, so again, super accessible. I'm available by LinkedIn, which I'm on all the time, as you know. It's Kathleen Taylor Ferguson. And then Instagram, we have, follow us at Coach360 News. Same thing, Coach360 News on LinkedIn. I can also be reached just by my email, which is Kathleen at Coach360news.com. Would love to hear from you guys and from our community. And you can also subscribe at Coach360news.com as well. So you want to subscribe so you can stay in touch and kind of learn about what's coming up. We've got a lot of really cool things coming up.
Good. I love it. My pleasure. And this has been a pleasure. It's so good to spend time with you both, take a little peek behind the scenes, and I can't wait to see you all here soon. And for everyone listening and or watching, thank you so much for being on. This is another episode of the Valicites podcast. Again, I'm your host, Albert Ramos, and we'll see you every Monday at 8 a.m. Central. Kathleen, Elisa, thank you so much. Such a pleasure.
Thank you.
All right. See you soon. Cheers.